What's up, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Another yap session. Hope you're excited. Sorry if you can hear my fan. Hope you can't. Today I'm joined by Julia.
Hi! In person! What?
If you've already seen it, maybe you haven't, but you might recognize her from the Into the Swiftverse video. Yeah. Okay, so today, another yap session. Time to talk about another new hyperfixation of mine. Last time it was Love Island. Now it's Dancing with the Stars. Let me tell y'all. Never really been a fan of, the show. Really, oh yeah, seeing the clips is cool, whatever. No. I'm obsessed.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people are also getting those vibes from this season as well.
Oh, yeah.
So,
100%.
we're going to kind of talk about this season because she grew up watching the show.
Yeah.
She's just started watching this season.
Mm-hmm.
So far, she doesn't know a lot beyond episode 2.
Yeah.
And doesn't know anything of really episode 4 through
Yeah.
6.
Because I was in the middle of 3.
Yeah, so she's in the middle of episode 3 right now, but I also did make her watch the Halloween episode with me live yesterday, because, by the way, today is Wednesday, October 30th, so yesterday was Halloween night.
Yes.
We'll get to that in a minute. We'll get to that in a minute. So let's start episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
It was a pretty good introduction, and it definitely kind of gave us, we knew who at least the first, 4 couples were going home.
Yeah.
You just immediately knew, I know they're going home, I know they're going home, I know they're going
Yeah.
home, I know they're going home.
Especially because it was a lot of, the older gentlemen.
Yeah. The older gentleman, you kind of got a vibe that unless Phaedra, really improved, you knew she was going home.
Yeah.
But yeah, you knew the 2 older guys were going home at some point.
Yeah.
I think everyone kind of knew Anna Delvey was going to go home because no one liked her being on the show in the first place.
Yeah.
I didn't care. I actually thought it was funny. I'm sorry. I thought it was funny personally, so I didn't really care, but obviously, you need not only judges' scores, but also audience votes, and
Yeah.
you could tell no one was voting for her, which makes me feel so bad for Ezra.
Yeah.
Especially with it being his first season.
Exactly.
And it's his little sister's also first season being in the troupe, because he was in the troupe, now he's a pro.
That's
This is
right.
his sister's first season being in the troupe.
Yes.
And by the way, his sister was in High School Musical, the musical, the series. So.
That's awesome.
Okay, anyways, so I don't really remember a lot of week 1, because obviously it's been a little bit since I've watched it.
Yeah.
But
it's kind of fresh in my mind because I watched it on the car ride here.
I watched it a couple days ago.
Yeah.
But I will say, I remember, the only dance I truly, truly remember sticking in my mind was Steven and Riley.
Yes.
Which obviously,
Oh
hello.
my god, they were amazing.
And then Joey and Jenna. Not only because
Yes.
they started the season, but also because, their dance was just so good.
Yeah. No,
I remember a little bit of Alona's, but, Steven's was my favorite.
Yes.
And I was shocked I liked Joey's.
Joey's, I think you liked not only because it opened, but because it gave more of his character out.
Well, not even that. I just liked the dance itself. But I remember it because it was, first. It was, that
Yeah.
big bang of energy. I feel like always, the very first dance of the season needs to be a big bang of energy.
Yes.
Or else it's, a disappointing start to the season.
Yeah.
So.
Because then people will be like, well, what else is there?
Yeah, oh, that's how you want to start this?
Yeah.
But also, another thing that surprises me is, I hate country music.
Yeah.
So that's also another reason why I wasn't expecting to like it.
The difference.
But I like that it was a cha-cha, which is like a Latin,
Yep.
Spanish dance. But they also mixed it with line dancing.
Yes.
And I thought that was so
loved that.
cool. I thought that was so cool.
I was like, oh my god, they incorporated line dancing? What?
Which I thought was sick.
That's the same thing that Whitney did, too, with Whitney and Danny. Right? Danny?
Yeah, Danny.
Yeah. They did a little bit of line dancing because it was the bar song, or Tipsy.
Tipsy, the bar song.
And, yeah.
That's its,
Yeah.
second name, yeah.
And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
interesting. Because when they do the remixes of the songs, I'm just like, that's new, that's weird, that's interesting.
Yeah. Loved Alona's, especially because I grew up with Shania Twain.
Oh my god,
So,
I loved
obviously.
her. They couldn't hear the music.
They couldn't? Oh,
No.
yeah, because everyone was loud. That's
Because-
right, that's right. We talked about this literally a couple of hours ago.
So when they first went out and Alona did her thing of like, let's go girls, apparently, according to Alan, the entire ballroom erupted because they loved Alona so much that they couldn't hear their music in the ballroom anymore. And even like they were both so surprised. And oh my god, I love them so much.
Yeah, by the way, you're going to discover real fast, we are both simultaneously in love with both Alan and Alona, while she's also down tremendously bad for Val. You will learn that so fast in this video.
Oh.
Because we are yappers, especially together,
Oh yeah.
and especially when it comes to simping. Anyways, also Chandler. When I heard she was doing Hot to Go, I was stoked. Because you know I love Chapel. Oh yeah, she was watching that at the gym for the first time. She'd never seen it. Watched it at the gym, and she just whips her head at me like, like she was so excited. I was like, yeah, I know.
I was so excited because I was just watching the rest of the dances and I was like, should I skip past this one? Is this one even worth watching?
And then all of a sudden it's just Hot to Go. Yeah, love it.
Oh,
And then obviously Steven and Riley's was so good. Were they the last dance of the night?
No. They were the second to last because
Anna
Anna
Delvey
Delvey
was last.
Yeah.
That's right. I think if they had ended the show, it would have like been like a hype start and a hype end.
Yes.
Especially with Don't Stop Me
Now.
Now. I just love him too.
Especially because it was a jive.
It was a jive. It was so upbeat. It was
was
perfect
right down their
for,
alley.
It was perfect for him.
It was right down their alley.
Yeah, I also like that they made the first episode like, hey, you get to pick the song. Like, what is your personal anthem?
Yeah.
So it also kind of also gave you like a personal insight to all like the people.
Yeah. I liked Phaedra's song. I didn't like her dance, but I liked her song.
I liked her her first week dance.
I agree.
I told
it was
you,
one of her
I
better
think
dances.
It was week 1, week 2, and then dedication night are the only
Yeah.
Phaedra dances I actually liked.
Yeah.
I don't like any of her
Soul
other
Train.
dances.
Soul Train did not bring what it should have. And I was
Especially
so
because she
sad.
grew up watching the show too.
I was so sad because I was like, you hyped up this entire dance, and then it was just like,
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I think that's kind of like where end episode 1. Episode 2 was Oscars night. I told her about the whole Jen and Sasha thing of like how like they couldn't hear their music and they still like
they did so
they
good.
did. You couldn't tell that they couldn't hear their music because they were perfectly on time. Sasha was counting, and you can see like if you read Jen's lips, she's singing the lyrics of the song to keep herself in time.
which is amazing as a performer.
So impressive. Like she's a theater kid, I'm chorus
Yeah.
kid, so like we understand how hard that is.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like when we did our chorus concerts, we couldn't
Oof.
hear like the music we were listening to.
'Cause
the
our
audience
monitors-
could hear it great,
our
but
monitors
us on
were
stage
so
we
low.
couldn't hear it. So that was like a huge struggle we had to face as like fine arts people.
Yeah.
So like we understand how hard that is, and the fact that I could not tell until they talked about it with like the judges, like
Yeah.
Carrie Ann brought it up and they talked about it, and I love how Sasha was like, yeah, we couldn't hear, but she did amazing. Like he
I
was
know.
hyping her up. I love Sasha, bro. I'm so sad they went home.
I know.
I'm sorry. Oh, we can't get into it yet, but anyways, let's not get into it yet. Anyways, Soul Train night. Not gonna lie, had never
What?
heard of Soul Train.
What was Dwight's hair?
Fuck ass Bob.
What?
Dora the Explorer
What
looking
was that
ass.
fuck ass Dora the Explorer wig bob shit they put
Oh
on
no.
this man's head?
Okay, got it.
What did they put on that man's head? Bro looked like he stepped straight out of the 60s and went, I'm here.
Also, can we talk about Steven Zalafro? It's so cute. It was so cute. I love it.
And then Val's hair. You cannot tell me you would not want to play with that curl.
No, like you would just be lying to my face.
That curl. And that's like probably his general like natural state with his hair.
Yeah.
Either
That's what I also wonder if like that's Alona's natural hair that she wore on Halloween night.
Yes.
Oh.
Ugh.
I'm gonna put a picture on the screen when we get to it, cause let me tell you, that woman is so fine. Listen, I know you're straight and you want a big, tall, strong
Is she?
football player. Sadly,
Ugh.
But if you ever change your mind,
Or you just look right next to you and you see Alan. I wouldn't
be
mind
mad.
that either. I wouldn't mind that.
I will tell you guys. I cracked a joke to her. I was rewatching the Halloween episode at the gym while I was doing cardio on the treadmill, and I said, we were making bi panic jokes where like the bisexuals are dying.
They're not safe
with that duo, and then I cracked a joke, and I was like, put me in the middle of them like an Oreo. I'm sorry if you couldn't hear me, but I'll put subtitles if I have to. But
It
yeah,
was so good.
so good. Okay, back on. I don't remember half of like the dances. I'm so sorry.
Actually, we skipped through a lot of Soul Train.
Oh yeah, we also didn't talk about episode 2 more than Jen and Sasha. Let's go back to that for a second. I think Stephen and Riley's was really good. The problem was I felt like they were really off time at some part, or like
yes.
That's my thing is I don't
because
like.
theirs was Superman.
And I feel like using those like slow like instrumentals with no lyrics is so hard to do such an intense dance like a Paso Doble.
Yeah.
That's
But they pulled it off though.
They did, but I feel like it's not their fault. I just feel like that choreography is really hard to do like to a song like that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't like Reggie's dance.
Oh, his Die Hard.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
I didn't like The Godfather.
I didn't like the Godfather one. And again, it's just because they're so much older that it's hard for them to move.
Yeah.
And I feel like
especially because the one who's paired with Britt, he got into a car accident and then his whole right side of his body is a quarter of a beat behind.
Yeah.
So he has a much harder time moving, and she mentioned that in the video package on premiere night.
Yeah.
Where she was like, it's gonna be difficult, but it's gonna be worth it.
Yeah. I feel like, again, like, the whole reason he did the show in the first place is because it's his wife's favorite TV show. And that's just the only reason he did it. Like, he did it to have fun. Like, he didn't care about winning. He just wanted, like, the experience. And I appreciate people who, like, they know, like, they're not talented. They know they can't, like, perform well.
And they come to have fun.
They just go to have fun, and as long as they stay, they stay. Like, they're not hurt when they get eliminated.
Yeah.
I also love when Reggie didn't know that the people loved him, and Emma told him that, like, everyone was, like, screaming when he got, like, saved after, like, week 2 or something like that. Like, everyone loved him so much, and he was like, really? And the way he spoke about Emma, too, like, on, like, TikTok and in the show, like, he is just like a ball of sunshine. He's so sweet.
He is a TV dad, and you can tell. Also, like,
stay hydrated.
I know, right?
I'm so dehydrated right now. I'm so sorry.
When he was doing, like, his dances, or, what's the guy's name? Is his name Eric?
Yeah.
When Eric was dancing with Britt, he also mentioned that he was doing it because 19 years prior, he was offered to do a season of Dancing with the Stars, but he couldn't do it because one day of filming overlapped with a movie he was filming.
Right.
And he was heartbroken.
Yeah.
And then he got into the car accident.
Right.
So.
Yeah. I will also say that one lady, I don't even know her name, the 90210 chick.
Oh, yeah. Beverly Hills 90210.
Sorry, to me, irrelevant.
Sorry. Again, she's there to have fun.
Yeah.
Because she is 50, and she mentioned, like, when she, at the end of Oscars night, she goes home.
Yeah.
And they ask her, they're like, what was it like being on the show, and, like, how was it, like, what does it mean to you? And she was like, I was just so glad to have gotten this opportunity and that to chase your dreams because anything can happen. Yeah. And then they turned to Anna Delvey, and it's like, what'd you take away from the show? Nothing.
Did you see that Ezra got that tattooed? He got the word nothing tattooed on him because of it.
No way.
He posted it on TikTok. He did a video showing all of, like, the Dancing with the Stars, like, people, the tattoo, and they all bust out laughing. Phaedra was, like, about to, like, fight him. She was about to smack him. I have to show you that later. Remind me. It was so funny. I was like, what is the tattoo? Like, I don't know. And then he finally showed it, and I was like, Ezra. The comments were like, Ezra, you did not.
That's crazy.
Because everyone was just like, are you being for real? Like, it was so funny. I don't know. I feel like Anna could have done well if she fixed her facial expressions.
Yes.
But also, again, the public didn't support her being on the show.
Yeah.
She wasn't going to last long no matter what because the people don't like having such controversial people.
Yeah. Can we talk about Whitney and Danny's dance for the Oscars night?
So, by the way, guys, I didn't tell her anything.
I wasn't wearing the shirt earlier,
She was wearing a Top Gun t-shirt.
Yes.
Because we had just come back from the gym when we had the episode on my computer.
Yes.
And she didn't know that they were doing a dance, and she wasn't listening when they talked. And I was like, they're doing a Top Gun dance. And she was like, to what song? And I was like, Danger Zone. And it's a jive. And she was like, and it's a jive?
I freaked out because...
And then immediately he takes off the button up, so he's just in the tank top. She's like, sir, you cannot do that off rip.
Exactly.
It was so funny.
Because then he just dips Whitney and goes in a circle, and I'm like...
I will say, I told this to her, to this day, I think that and his dedication night are my favorite of their dances.
Yes.
I
haven't seen dedication night yet, but I believe that.
I'm sorry, I didn't like their Deadpool and Wolverine because it was mostly just fighting and lifts. It wasn't dancing.
Was it contemporary?
No.
What was it?
I think it was like a jazz.
Oh.
But it was like, she used more like fighting dancing instead of just dancing.
That's what Dwight and his partner do.
No, like this was like full, like they were doing like fighting. Because they were supposed to be Deadpool and Wolverine. And they were dancing to Bye Bye Bye.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, it wasn't my favorite because it felt like they focused too heavy on the fighting than the dancing.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, his dedication night had me like you would have thought they were getting tense. Like that dance was gorgeous, contemporary.
Yes.
And you know Whitney's good with contemporary.
Oh yeah.
When she watched that, I'm so excited. But yeah, I didn't tell her about that, and then I totally forgot. I went and showered while she finished that episode, and I forgot, so obviously I didn't get to tell her that Alona and Alan did Lady Marmalade. And I came out of the shower, and she's like...
You also didn't tell me about Dirty Dancing.
I was not told... Oh, yeah, I also didn't tell her about Dirty Dancing.
I wanted to cry, because...
Oh, Lady Marmalade was Sultry Night.
That was Sultry.
That's right. I didn't tell her about Dirty Dancing either, because, again, I forgot.
Yeah.
But it's so... I told her, I was like, you need to pay attention to this, because, like, she was, like, looking at me and, like, yapping. I'm like, Julia, watch. Because immediately off rip, Alan just goes, like, little, like, okay, fruit. Okay, piece of fruit.
And the thing is, like... Eventually you'll learn about me. Top Gun and Dirty Dancing are two of, like, the greatest movies ever to me. And I keep them so near and dear to my heart that they're just, like, there.
I've never seen either, by the way. So...
I think that's what makes it so funny now.
Yeah.
Like, you haven't seen them.
Yeah.
You haven't seen those. You haven't seen Die Hard.
Nope.
It's okay.
I stay exclusive to, like, Disney.
One day.
I don't steer very far from the path of Disney.
Yeah.
Marvel, Star Wars, DC.
Yeah. One day I'll show it to you.
That's about it.
I'll show it to you one day. Maybe.
Anyways, okay. Back on track. Oscars night. Oh my god, Alona's also, when he, like, feels up her muscles and she literally goes, oh my god. I was like, I bust out laughing. And then when Alan is, like, lifting her up and spinning her, I literally was like, look at Alona. Alona's busting out laughing the whole time.
Love her.
And that's why, like, Alona's literally my favorite is, like, first of all, gonna say it, we both have body image issues. So, like, seeing a girl like her be, first of all, sexy.
Yeah.
She is so fine.
Ugh.
She is so fine. But also just be funny as hell.
Yeah.
And being talented and just, like, putting herself out there and having so much confidence.
Yeah.
And, like, that's why she's there, is to show, like, you can still have femininity with, like, being, like, this big, strong person.
Especially because she does rugby.
Yeah.
Rugby is a very, like...
It's, like, a men's sport as far as, like, anyone's really been aware. So seeing, like, how much, like, a difference she's made.
Yeah.
And how she's preaching body positivity is something I wish I had when I was in middle school.
Yeah. And as much as I hate Carrie Ann told her at some point during one of those nights, she was like, I love how I love how much you go out there and you just have a bunch of body positivity.
Like,
and
you
you're
are
so
showing
confident.
what femininity, like,
is.
can be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Michael texted me. Continue yapping.
But that's what I love so much about Alona, is that she will just go out there and give it her all. And she knows when she messes up. And that's what's so great about having Alan as a partner, is Alan said in an interview that Ilona is unlike any partner he's ever worked with, that she's so confident, she's so, like, happy, like, and outgoing, she's not afraid to show her feelings, like, Alan is, like, you can see it on his face when he works with her, is he is just so happy. And that's, like, one thing I love with watching Dancing with the Stars, is to see the dynamics between all the couples.
Oh, yeah.
Seeing Alan and Ilona's dynamic makes me want to cry.
Yeah.
Because it's so sweet.
I think my favorite couples-wise is also why, like, I rooted for them so hard. Ilona and Alan, Riley and Steven, and I wasn't expecting to like, at all, Jen and Sasha. And that's why I was sad I went home, is, like, obviously, like, you haven't watched all the episodes. I love them, and, like, I've been getting, like, obviously a lot of, like, the TikToks, and she posts so many TikToks, like, they have changed each other's lives.
Yes.
Like, he came into her life at the
perfect
time, and she has helped, like, reshape the way he's been living his life as of late as well. Like, they came into each other's lives at, like, the perfect time for each other. And I think that that's, like,
amazing.
It's such a beautiful thing, because you also saw, like, they had so much chemistry. Like, a lot of chemistry, which I loved. But yeah, they ate their Great Gatsby dance down.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, then we move on. Soul Train.
I wasn't a big fan of Soul Train Night.
No. Also, I had never heard of it before.
Yeah.
Like, ever. So I was like,
heard of it because I've listened to it growing up with my dad. Because he would play, like, Motown. We used to watch Blues Brothers. Like, there's so much that my parents have taught me because of it.
Yeah, because that's
like, how I knew
I was more 80s.
Exactly.
I was raised significantly more 80s. I didn't really like listening to my grandparents' like 60s and 70s music as much.
Yeah.
I was just very strongly like 80s and 90s, 2000s.
Yeah.
So like obviously I wasn't very into that stuff.
Yeah.
But that being said, I also didn't like Hair Metal Night. And I know you haven't watched that yet.
Yeah.
But I genuinely, like, when I'm binging the whole show, I will skip that episode. I hate that episode. And anyone that has watched that episode knows why.
The dead camera stare goes crazy. Because
I'm connecting with the audience. They know.
I also know why, because you told me.
I did. The guest judge.
Yeah.
He was so sexist. And I'm telling you, when you watch Dedication Night, there are multiple times that Derek and Alfonso make jabs at him. It's awesome.
Crazy.
God, there's so much I want to talk about Dedication and Disney Night, but you haven't watched them yet. So, we're definitely watching them the second we finish filming this YouTube video.
Yes.
By the way, I'm immediately putting the show on.
Oh, yeah.
Just, like, to let, like, the audience know, like, she hasn't seen them, but I'm immediately putting them on.
Yeah. I tried to watch it in the car, and then it buffered.
How about I give you kind of, like, the hint of, like, the songs and, like, the dance styles?
Yeah.
Okay.
For at least Hair Metal Night. Disney, I know a bunch of them.
Well, I'm saying I don't really know Hair Metal Night, but I will say I wasn't super impressed with, like, any dances at all. None of them were, like, amazing. I promise you that.
So you can just kind of, like, skip over it.
Yeah, you can pretty much just skip that episode because you know who gets eliminated. The two old guys. They
Oh,
both
that's
go
right.
out that episode.
Aw.
So, it's like...
I get why, but
And all the costumes were ugly. I'm sorry, Steven is wearing, like, a Bon
Derek's-
Jovi...
Derek's fucking mohawk.
long Bon
I
Jovi.
know.
I will say though, I did like at the very beginning of Steven and Riley's dance, there's one part where she's like dipped on one of his arms and he pretends like she's a guitar and he like pretends like
That's
he's like
awesome.
It's cool, but that's like the only like remotely memorable thing from that whole night. Like that's the only thing I remember from that night.
Yeah.
Other than the judge being terrible.
Can we
like,
talk about the fact that they made Ilona cry? That's one of the
Are you
roughest
okay?
parts.
Been better, Carrie Ann. I also love that then Ilona brought her in during rehearsals that week and filmed that TikTok with Carrie Ann.
But
this is where Ilona is iconic.
There's one little bit of that episode that I do want to watch, and it's the interaction between Ilona and Alan when she's like crying and Alan's like, take a minute, breathe, it's gonna be okay.
You also see a lot of it in the video package of Dedication Night, though. So that's why I really want you to watch Dedication Night.
I'm like, we can just skip to Dedication Night, because I
we
can watch
can,
it.
yeah. I'm sorry, like, I literally cannot bring myself to watch Hair Metal Night. It's so bad. Okay, so Dedication Night.
Yes. I watched a couple from dedication night, but it was mainly just Alona.
Okay, so I don't remember the order, but I do know Alona and Alan
Yes.
did Samba?
I don't remember what song it was, but I know.
Rumba, It's My Way.
I know
by
it's My
Frank
Way.
Sinatra.
There we go. I remember it now because I saw it in the car and I was like,
And mind you, she dedicated it to the U.S.
Rugby team.
Olympics rugby team. The whole team was in the crowd,
Yep.
and one of her teammates broke down
sobbing.
sobbing because it was beautiful.
Ugh.
And also, we already
her
talked
outfit
about
is
it.
so good.
Oh my God, her dress is gorgeous.
She's like, I want to be as
Naked as I
TV.
can on TV.
Yeah.
As naked as I can be.
Yeah.
And honestly, period.
Good for you.
Period. I would want to be.
Back to the first episode really quick. If you notice and you look at her hands from her
Oh
playing
yeah, I
with
saw
the friends,
that.
her hands are pink.
Her hands got colored because of her costume.
Yeah.
Which
or
is
or it was
awesome.
Alan's costume. It was one of the two.
It was one of the two, but it was from
It was
their
so
costumes. It rubbed off on her hands. It literally looked like she had done hand paint with pink paint.
It was so funny.
So bad.
She dyed her hair pink, but the residue didn't come off.
Yeah, right? Oh my God, PTSD.
Yeah.
Anyways, we don't need to go back to that. So yeah, they did that. Literally the most beautiful dance.
Yeah.
It was gorgeous.
I was gonna start crying. I was like,
Now, I already told you, I'm so excited for you to watch Steven and Riley
yes,
do an Argentine tango
yes,
to Seven Nation Army.
yes. You
And
told me about this.
he dedicates it to men's gymnastics
Yep.
as a whole.
Yeah.
It is so good because you've never seen Steven be so serious.
In the zone, yeah.
Even with the Superman Paso Doble,
Yeah.
he wasn't this
Serious.
was chemistry.
Yeah.
This was very
Out of Steven's range.
which I loved though. It looked so good to see him
Exactly, because we hadn't up till that point seen Steven do a super serious type of dance.
that. And that was he was locked.
dedication night and Halloween night. Halloween, he was very in the zone for that night.
We'll get there. We will get there. We will get there.
The pose.
Halloween night.
That was something.
Let me just say I have so many words about Halloween night. We will get there. We will get there. Okay, moving on. Again, do a contemporary to I Hope You Dance.
I think I saw theirs.
Dance.
Yes.
Okay,
Oh, that song is sad.
she got so underscored.
That
that
song
was
is so sad.
The most beautiful dance, and she was completely underscored. Carrie Ann was
Oh.
being super hard on her, and she ended up getting bottom 3 that night. They put her in the bottom 3, close to elimination.
Sucks.
I was beyond pissed because
Yeah.
that was literally the best dance she'd done. If you thought her Barbie one was good
Yeah.
for Oscar night, this was that, but tenfold. And she had a very similar dress to Alona, but it was a pastel yellow instead of
Ooh.
blue. Gorgeous. It was her Barbie costume plus Alona's dedication night costume.
Got
Had
it.
a baby, but yellow. I'm not kidding. It was beautiful, and she dedicated it to her mom,
Oh, I love that.
who sacrificed her career for Chandler's.
I love that.
And it was so beautiful, and they underscored her so bad. I was beyond pissed.
Carrie Ann's either always in a good mood or a bad mood.
Replace her with Mark. Mark was a guest judge
Yes.
for dedication night.
I love Mark.
He won with Charlie D'Amelio.
Yes.
Yeah. He
I
was.
love Mark.
He gave so much constructive criticism, and it worked.
And that's what I loved about Mark when he was a pro, is that he wouldn't be super hard and yell at his
Yeah.
partner. He would talk them through it.
Exactly.
And that's what I love about the pros, is that they talk them through it rather than just yelling at them.
Mhm.
And the hate isn't usually directed at their partner. It's more so directed at the fact of why can't we get this as
Yeah.
a team and not me just yelling at you.
Yeah. But yeah, I literally you'll see it. Mark was incredible. There's multiple times where he even turned to Derek and was he asked Derek to stand up to help him get into frame to show someone how to change the
Yeah.
way that their body is supposed to sit. He literally was doing so much of that through the episode, and I
This is
loved
why I
it.
love Mark.
I'm sorry, fire Carrie Ann. Especially after Halloween night. Fire her.
Oh my God.
Please get her out. She is so biased toward all of the men.
Yes.
I think all of them are personally.
Yeah.
They are so much harder on the women, and it sucks.
Because there are very few guys. And the few guys that there are from The Bachelor and played football and played basketball.
Like, they already have, like, athleticism. And for Alona, she played something similar to football, and while you're giving Danny all this incredible advice, you're not doing anything. You're just expecting her to improve without giving her actual constructive criticism.
Exactly.
Like, what? And Danny, again, love him, but Whitney's doing the same thing with him as Daniela's doing with Dwight, and they're just relying on, like, lifts.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's also what Riley was doing until Halloween night with Steven.
Yes. Which I literally told her to. You can ask. Before God.
Halloween night, I was like, this contemporary is going to make or break Riley and Steven.
Yes.
If they did not nail the contemporary for Halloween night, they were going home. I'm telling you that right now. They were screwed if they hadn't done well.
Exactly.
Because I knew if they did not step it up for Halloween night, they were going to get low scores and they were going home.
Who did they duo against?
Jen and Sasha.
And Jen and Sasha got that.
They won, but then Jen and Sasha went home.
Yeah.
Mind you, Jen and Sasha also got a 10.
Yeah.
And won the extra 3 bonus points, but they went home.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were pissed because they wanted either Alona or Dwight to go home. And I'm sorry, it's not fair that Alona got underscored.
Exactly. Because Alona's dance was so good.
Like, everyone else's used, like, actual, like, scary and fear. She was able to make hers fun.
Yeah.
And it played more to her personality,
exactly.
which I liked. And it was
Dwight,
fun.
Dwight
and
didn't even have a fear. He didn't even mention a fear.
They literally said, like, when I went through the list and read what they were all doing, his said the boogeyman. Which, like, makes sense when you watch the dance, but when you don't explain it and he doesn't say he has a fear.
He's like, I'm gonna become the fear. I was like...
Okay, so he just is fear itself? Like, what?
And fear itself can be manifested in many different ways.
Like,
so
okay,
it doesn't make sense.
Whatever. Moving on. Obviously I told you, and I think you saw Derek and Haley's dance. Because his wife, Haley, this was her first time returning to the ballroom dance floor after she almost died.
What?
Oh, yeah, she almost died. They were on, like, the Dancing with the Stars tour, and she was supposed to come out on stage, and she was having seizures. They emergency brought her to the hospital. She was having brain bleed, and she had to have emergency surgery. They were like, she might not even make it through the surgery, and if she does, there's not a chance she's ever going to be able to walk again, or that she's going to be the same person she was. Somehow, miracle-wise, she came back, was the same Haley, was able to not only walk again, but pushed herself to the limit to be able to dance again. And they did a beautiful dance to Beautiful Things by Benson Boone, the song Mel sang.
That's crazy.
And I'm not kidding, there's one part, like, oh my god. First of all, I was already crying because of the video package. Then they did the dance, and there's one part toward the beginning where, like, when he says, like, I know the things he gives me he can take away, she walks away, and the camera stays on Derek, and, like, the lights, like, go blue, and you hear, like, a hospital beeping sound, and he walks over and grabs her, and it makes, like, a little ding, and the lights go back to, like, that soft yellow, and they continue dancing.
I'm gonna die.
Oh, no, you're gonna be sobbing your eyes out. I was.
I'm gonna
and then
die.
at the end, you know, Julianne is there, so they all come out. Derek's crying.
Reasonably.
Haley's crying, and then Julianne is crying.
Who was Haley dancing with? I'm slow.
Haley's dancing with Derek. Derek and Haley are wife and husband.
Derek Huff.
Yes.
Got it. Oh my god, I'm fucking slow. You, like, expected me to know a Derek, and I'm like, there's no Derek contestant this season.
No. Derek Huff
okay.
and his wife
there we go.
were on the Dancing with the Stars tour because they were pros
they were
together
pros,
on the show.
There, in one of the episodes, Derek mentions Len Goodman, and he says, "Look," like Len would say, "Look at me, like look at me, darling."
Oh yeah.
And
that was Halloween. That was Halloween night.
Yeah, I almost lost it because I rewatched the Len Goodman tribute the other night.
I watched that for the first time like last week. It was so good.
I cried. So
well, mind you, I
much.
also never knew Len ever.
Right.
I never
knew
watched
Len.
him, so I didn't know anything about him. So it didn't like
Watching-
affect me that much. But seeing Bruno cry broke me.
Seeing Bruno cry, seeing Derek cry, seeing Val cry.
Well, like it didn't affect me as much until you see like the spotlight on his chair and you
oh no,
see Bruno sobbing.
I lost it during that time. I was like,
yeah,
I was like, they did not have to do that.
I know. But anyways, going back to dedication night.
Yeah.
Who am I missing? Oh, Dwight and Daniela did Roomba, I think. I think it's his song, and he dedicated it to his kids.
Yeah.
All of his kids.
Oh.
All of his kids. He has 5 kids.
Damn.
Between the ages of 10 and 16.
Damn. Okay, bro.
I know, right? Who am I missing?
You were missing Jenna and Danny.
Jenna and Joey.
Joey, my bad.
Oh my god, I loved their dance. Oh my god.
I love how you forgot it.
No, like, I actually, like, remembering it now, I don't know what song they did, because I've never heard the song before, but, oh my god. Also, they wear like, a gorgeous shade of purple in their outfits. I love Jenna's dress. It was gorgeous. Like, I'm just gonna tell you now. Like, that dance was so good. Not my favorite, but, like, damn. Danny's. Danny and Whitney did a contemporary.
There we go.
To...
Shut up.
He
That
dedicated
song
it to
is
his
so
college
sad.
football coach, who gave him a scholarship when he was 16 years old. That was, like, his, like, man. Like, that was the person he always went to, and his coach died a couple years ago, and he never got to say goodbye.
Oh.
So he dedicated the dance to
Damn.
his coach. Oh my god.
It's like the battle of the sadness.
No, yeah, pretty much. Oh, Jen. She did a foxtrot to The Archer by Taylor Swift because she dedicated her dance to Taylor Swift because Taylor Swift's music got her through all of, like, the hard times throughout her entire life. Like, she literally talks about it in her video package. She's like, I remember coming home from school one day and seeing cop cars outside of my house. I didn't have a good family life growing up. Plus all this stuff that's been going on in the public within the past couple of months.
Yeah.
Like, she's been through the ringer, and Taylor Swift's music, like, allowed her to realize, like, she could be vulnerable and admit that, like, she wasn't okay.
Yeah.
So she dedicated her night to Taylor Swift and danced to The Archer by Taylor Swift. Which I was like, okay, period. Also, her dress, so cute. She wore my favorite shade of purple,
Yeah.
which you know.
Yeah.
I love light purple, and she wore light purple so pretty. Not as pretty as her Soul Night dress. Her Soul Train dress, like that light blue.
Yeah.
Not as pretty, but it was still very pretty. Wasn't my favorite dance of hers as well, but it was
Yeah.
still pretty good. I liked her Disney Night one a little better, but it was still.
You didn't like the wig for Disney Night.
Anyways, but yeah, I don't know. It was cute. Disney Night. The opening thing is actually pretty cool. Not like my favorite, but it's cool.
Yeah.
They brought the current genie from Broadway.
Yep.
And they did an Aladdin opening number.
Yep.
So cool. They brought out Mandy Moore to choreograph it too.
I got to see him in person at States.
Oh, that's so cool.
And so the year prior, when it was, like, COVID stuff still,
Yeah.
we got, like, a video package from him. And then I don't think he did anything. He might have came and taught a workshop junior year. And then senior year, he brought out his old theater director on stage. And then another woman who was helping, like, present stuff with him brought out her dad, who also was a theater teacher.
That's cool.
And it was so cool, and he was in, like, this green suit and everything, and I was like, dude, could you be any more neon?
Yeah, but yeah, so they did, like, that dance, which is why, like, remember when we saw the thing of Derek in, like, those blue frilly pants? Julianne was in a blue frilly outfit the whole night, and so he, like, borrowed her pants.
I want those back, Derek.
I know.
You're not
you
getting
guys
them
can
back.
figure that out off camera. Shut up, Alfonso. Anyways.
You're not getting those pants back.
So, Stephen and Riley did A Star Is Born, which I was right. They did not mash it with Zero Hero.
I was slow, okay? I thought they did.
I know. If they were going to do Hercules, I wish they had done that song.
Yeah.
I feel like that would have made more sense for Stephen than A Star Is Born.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of them doing Sharpay and Rhyme more. And I wish they had done that. Because I'm sorry, I did not like Riley's wig.
No.
It was too much. It was too bright.
Yeah.
I think if they had just kept her as the blonde for Sharpay, if they had done either Fabulous or
Bops to the Top.
Bops to the Top, or even my favorite song from High School Musical 3. It all. I want it all. I want it, want it, want it. The fame and the fortune and more.
There.
It's all about Sharpay trying to convince Ryan, like, we need to be the biggest and the best, because imagine what's going to happen when one day you and I are going to be famous together. But it's obviously, like, Sharpay's very selfish, so Ryan's like, oh yeah, am I even going to be there? So then she's like, look, it's not just me, it's us. We're the power team. And it's like, oh my god, it's so good. They use so much budget for that one sequence, and I love it. I love it. It's so good.
Val and Phaedra did not
Oh, no.
impress me.
No, their dance sucked. Honestly, I understand why they went home, because also
Which
Phaedra,
is so sad.
Phaedra screwed up the Team Roar dance so
Oh my
bad.
God.
Like, don't get me wrong, that thing was all over the place altogether anyways.
Because
but-
they have a bunch of athletic people on the same team, and it just didn't work.
But also their timing was completely
Yeah,
off.
they put all the people who don't have timing on that team.
Yeah, pretty much. Which is also funny, by the way, in case you didn't know. They show it, how the teams were picked, is they picked the 2 people with the lowest scores from dedication night, which was Alona and Dwight. They were team captains, and they had to draft their team.
That's crazy.
So Dwight drafted Steven, Danny, and Phaedra. And then Alona drafted Jen, Chandler, and Joey. So,
Which is like the freaking dream team.
that's like the dream team, except maybe if you had swapped out Steven and Riley with like Jen and Sasha.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Mayhaps.
Or swapped Joey and Jenna. Because I feel like having Jenna and Whitney together is like power.
That is power.
Especially plus Val,
Yeah.
plus Daniela.
Yeah.
Those 4 pros together
Are
eats.
beasts.
Eats.
They are beasts.
Yeah. So.
And, like, don't get me wrong. I loved Phaedra. I loved her personality.
Oh, I thought she was great.
Her personality's great. She can't move.
She can't. She relied too much on hips and not actually dancing. Like, you
Yeah.
can see she like would forget her steps and she'd like panic and look
Yeah.
at Val
In-
mid-dance because she doesn't remember anything.
In Soul Train Night, they have a thing where Phaedra goes under
I
Val's
remember.
arms, and she got stuck. 'cause
I
of her
remember,
wig.
yeah. It's, yeah, she
went-
just couldn't do anything on her own. And I could see
And when she got into it, she was great.
when she got into it and she knew what she was doing.
Yeah.
She was great.
And that's what Carrie Ann talks to her about. She's like, when I see you get in the mood, like, it's great.
And Bruno.
And Bruno.
Bruno
Yeah.
loved her, but you could see Bruno couldn't support her when he saw she wasn't putting in,
the
like,
effort.
yeah. When she wasn't doing her part, there wasn't much they could do to help her.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
We talked about Sasha. We didn't really talk about Sasha.
Jen and Sasha did a samba.
I think so. I didn't.
Yeah,
watch
samba,
the
because
episode
it's the dance of love. I remember they talked about it. It's like the dance of romance.
Yeah.
And he said, I don't want it to be like this like sexy thing that everyone expects it to be. I want it to be graceful like she is.
Yes.
It was so cute. And they did it to kiss the girl.
Yep.
It was so cute,
That's
honestly.
what I figured when I saw the outfits.
It was really good. I think it was one of their better dances. Excuse me. But wasn't my favorite.
Yeah.
Stephen Riley's wasn't my favorite either.
Yeah.
I love them, but it wasn't my favorite. Chandler and Brandon did her song from Zombies.
Yes. Own the Night.
Mhm.
That one, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't my favorite.
I understand why it got the hype because it was like an amazing paso, but it wasn't like my favorite dance.
Yeah. My favorite was Jenna and
Okay, we'll get there in a second, but I wanted to mention our husband made an appearance. Milo.
He went to support her, and when they were doing like judging and stuff, they were like, I see like Milo's over there, and she like ran to hug Milo.
She
like,
bolted, and then they told her to come back
Come
because she
back.
was hugging him for so long.
And that's just like how good of a relationship they have.
Also, I saw someone posted a video like of like behind the scenes clips and stuff, and they're like did like Milo and Whitney get to see each other because Whitney was the pro with Milo
Right.
for his season. They're like, yeah, like they got to see each other, they hugged, they were talking, and I was like, okay, good, because they were very close
Yeah.
during his season, which I think was like an older sister, younger brother vibe.
Yeah.
Obviously, because he was 17.
Yeah.
And she's, I don't even know how old. I think she's like 30 something.
Yeah.
She's-
Late 20s, early 30s.
I think she's early 30s now. But yeah.
I know Riley is 19.
Yeah, she is. She's only a year older
She
than
is
me.
young.
Yeah. She just had lost her boyfriend.
I know.
He's cute too.
He is.
Pop up girlfriend. Anyways, okay. Joey and Jenna.
Wait, we're missing one.
Oh no, we're gonna keep going.
Oh,
We're
okay.
just moving on to the next couple.
Okay.
Joey and Jenna. They deserve 10s. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They were robbed.
They were robbed because I have PTSD with Trash in the Camp because I did that song in middle school. And I stepped on a freaking cup. But
So glad I never went and saw that show. I was
Oh
in
my
Disney that
God.
weekend.
I'm glad you didn't see the show. Oh my god, I was losing my mind over that show. We didn't finish blocking it ever. Like
Oh.
the show never. Sorry, I had to
So
come back
did
my throat. I had to we.
She has water.
Okay. In Trash in the Camp, there's just so much happening for what we
It's
did.
a lot. Yeah, but like also that song is like hard, but the way they did it was gorgeous.
So good.
I hated his wig so much.
His wig was
It
awful.
looked so bad.
But when like there's obviously the trend going around of their main part of their dance where they're doing the
that's the part that deserved a 10.
Oh my god.
That was
Miss Girl's
gorgeous.
back flexed.
Val. I understand you.
Right?
I understand
Right?
you. I'm looking
Her
at your
hair
wife.
was great.
I look at your wife respectfully, homie. I
Her-
look at her respect.
Her hair looked great.
Oh my
for
god,
that
her
dance.
hair looked
Her everything looked good for that dance.
gorgeous. Yeah, I just hated his wig. And I like I know that they were like, oh my god, I love it, like yeah. I was like, that's worse than Jen and Riley's wigs. Damn.
Yeah.
Also, why did they give Jen freckles? They gave her fake freckles.
I don't know.
Ariel doesn't have freckles.
I don't know.
Anyways, Danny and Whitney, we already kind of talked about their Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah.
It was just more fighting than it was dancing.
Yeah.
I-
Dwight and Daniela did Wreck-It Ralph.
They did. They
I-
did a foxtrot to When Can I See You Again?
I didn't watch it yet.
And I
I'm-
love that
I'm kind
song
of excited
so I hate that movie. You know I'm not a big fan of
Yeah.
that movie.
I
I
like
love
the
that
movie.
song.
but specifically for Penelope.
Yeah. I will say it was a good dance. I just feel like a foxtrot is such an awkward song to pick. I mean, it's an awkward dance to pick for that song.
Yeah.
Like, especially with how, like, upbeat it is. But they made it work, and again, you know how hard it is for them to get into frame. But they did good,
Yeah.
I will say. They did very good.
They're getting better with that.
They are,
Yeah. Because the more they work together, the more, like, she's getting used to his taller frame, and he's getting used to how short she is. Because he is 6'11", or
6'11",
6'11"?
5'11". No, it is 6'11".
No, it's
Just kidding.
6'11".
I'm right.
He's 6'11", and she is 5'3". 5'4", maybe with heels.
Nope, 5'3". Yeah, oh yeah. She's like
Maybe
max
with heels.
5'5". Max 5'5".
Max 5'5".
But again, they also don't wear super tall heels because they need like more functionality than anything.
Yeah, so a lot of the shoes they wear are designed specifically for the certain dances.
Yeah.
So when they do like their salsas and stuff, they have their very flexible shoes so they can point their toes.
Yeah,
When
and
they
like
yelled
slide their feet
When
on
they
the
yelled
floor.
at Steven in the first episode for not pointing his toes, and then Riley defended him, like he was pointing his toes. The shoes were just stiff.
Yeah,
Because obviously they don't have time to work in those shoes before the dance.
right.
It's like a one and go.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's it for individual.
Nuh-uh. Which mask scared us the most, babe?
Pookies!
The-
Ilona and Alan.
That
So-
mask was so scary.
They did surface pressure because everyone
Which
was
was
like,
so perfect.
No, I also love though. Okay, I understand they didn't listen for Sharpay and Ryan, for Riley and Steven, and I'm pissed. But I'm so happy they listened to the fans when they wanted Ilona to do
Surface pressure.
Louisa. We didn't care as much about the song, but like 1000%, like you
Louisa.
have to put her as Louisa.
Yes.
And I'm so happy they listened.
She's
and,
like carbon copy.
and everyone also cracked jokes like, oh yeah, make Alan the donkey. And then everyone's like, that's not what we wanted.
That's not what we meant.
Like, why couldn't you put him in a suit like the backup dancers? Why'd you have to give him the prosthetics? Scary.
Because Alan.
I also like when someone cursed in the Halloween episode, they put Alan as the donkey as like the sensor
Oh,
on the mouth.
It was perfect.
It was so good.
It was perfect.
It was so good. Oh my god.
But they
Beautiful.
did so
They did
good.
but I also
And
understand you haven't seen it.
Was it their
obviously.
first 9 of the season too? Not the first 9 of the season, but their first 9 as like a team.
Yes.
And it was so
But
fucking
I
good.
also obviously I know you haven't seen it, but I also understood Derek's point of he said they were doing more performing than they were dancing. But I also feel it's hypocritical because you also see that happening with
like Whitney and Danny.
Whitney and Danny and Dwight and
Exactly.
Daniela, but you're not giving them those critiques. You're
Exactly.
only giving it to Alona. And that's like where my whole thing of like
Ugh.
getting mad at the judges for being very hypocritical comes in.
It's
Is like
straight at Alona.
it's straight at Alona, but it's also mostly at the women. Like they're also so much harder
Mm.
on Chandler, which sometimes is unfair. Like what do you mean Dwight and Daniela get the first 10 of the entire season and you're giving Chandler straight 9s for Halloween night?
Exactly. Like,
I'm sorry?
We're
Even
still-
when you admit that
we're still in
Alona and
Disneyland.
Chandler had the hardest dances to critique, and you gave them the worst scores of the night.
yeah.
Make that make sense.
Ugh.
I'm gonna get pissed.
No,
sorry. No, sorry. I'm wrong. Chandler got 2 10s because Derek and Bruno actually have brain cells.
Yeah.
Um,
But when
we already covered on, like, Team Roar, but Team Goofs deserve straight 10s for their group dance. It was so good.
they did Eye to Eye from the Goofy movie, and that's literally my favorite song from that movie.
It's so good. Like,
Ooh.
that whole dance was incredible. They did so good choreographing.
The Jenna and Alona lived.
Oh, yeah. I also love in the video package for it, they, like, Alona does it for the first time, and some of the guy pros are standing in the back, and they're just like, she does it so easy. Like, they're, like, so annoyed.
It's so easy.
I bust out laughing. It's so good. Okay, Halloween night.
Oh my god. Alona looked so hot.
When I tell you,
We almost had a panic attack that night.
I couldn't pause it because we were watching it live, but I
Right.
was just like, first of all, that dress. First of all, the dress.
I know I sent you the TikTok. It's when it's like, can you guess whose outfit is who?
Oh my god, yeah, that was so
That was
good.
so funny.
I'm sorry, that dress looked so good on her. She
It looks so good on
hot.
Alan.
True, but focus on the show, not the TikToks. She looked hot
They're
in that
not
dress.
bonus.
That dress did her so good. Then, I don't know if that's her natural hair, but whatever they did to her hair, that needs to stay forever and always. That was gorgeous. Second of all, the lipstick smear, while Alan has kisses all over him. Why are you playing with my heartstrings?
They're so good.
They were so good.
They're so good.
And then also, Alona was killing that acting.
Yes, and she was putting so much emotion into it too, because in rehearsals in the video package, you can see like how pissed off your foot.
That's gonna be our quote now. We're gonna say that to each other all the time.
Get off your foot.
Yeah, anytime you're doing something that I know you're not supposed to be doing, I'm gonna yell that at you, and you're the only one that's gonna understand it. That's gonna be an inside joke between us now. Be ready for it.
You're gonna see me walk out tomorrow. Get off of your foot.
When you're trying to like be like, but do I have to go? I'm gonna be like, get off your foot.
Do I
Anyways,
have to go to class? Get off your foot.
I don't want to go to advertising.
Get off your foot.
Yeah. By the way, we haven't filmed our Disney vlog yet, obviously, because we're not going to
Yes.
Disney till Friday. I feel like that's gonna end up being said at least a
Oh.
few times while we're in Disney.
When you're trying to convince me to go on Space Mountain.
Okay, that's not even scary, babe.
Get off your foot.
Guardians, however,
Oh no.
I'm gonna need convincing with, because I'm still scared of that ride. Anyways, get back to the conversation. I'm sorry.
The hand placement.
The almost kiss.
The almost kiss. The hand placement.
The hand placement on his neck,
Ugh.
and then when she dragged him, I'm not kidding, we looked at
Frozen.
each other, we literally said, drag me like that anytime you want.
Exactly.
Please.
I love her.
Alona, whatever you need. Do you need to kill me next?
She's right.
I volunteer tribute. I
And
volunteer
they-
tribute. Please,
So
me next. Me
her,
next.
Her fear
Pick
was
me. Choose me. Love me.
right. Her fear was psycho killers, and she made herself into a psycho killer. And they
Damn,
danced to
she-
psycho killer.
And she looked hot doing it. I have a fat crush on Alona tomorrow.
And I loved the blue that she was wearing.
Oh my god,
It
that
was
that
so
teal.
pretty.
That teal brought out her eyes, her skin. Like, that looked so good on her skin.
Yeah. Ugh.
Oh my
And then
god. And Alan?
The judges pissed me off so much. with
Carrie
their
Ann,
dance.
get out of my face. And I literally said, what kind of, like, crack cocaine is she smoking? What is she drinking in between takes?
Yeah.
What is she taking a hit of? Because
And-
whatever drug she was on, she needs to stop.
And Chandler and Brandon. Yep.
Their dance was amazing.
It was great.
Amazing.
But they had immunity, so they didn't have to do the duos dance.
But even then, we also talked about that. That hurt them.
Yes.
And they talked about it too. They said they only had one
shot.
chance
Yeah.
because they didn't have to do the competition, and that hurt them.
Those songs they chose for the duos were actually really good, though. I enjoyed them.
Yeah.
I know you didn't really get Time Warp.
Yeah, I didn't get Time Warp.
If I showed you a video of Time Warp, you'd kind of understand why they did what they did.
Yeah, probably.
Because it's very musical theater. It's very, like, upbeat in there. And when they do a jump to the left and a twist to the right,
Joey and
They-
Jenna, like, she told me, she's like, they actually, like, did
It's-
very similar to the dance.
Yes.
I also think it's funny, I don't know anything about Time Warp, but I was like, I'm sorry, Joey and Jenna just mopped the floor with Danny and Whitney, and then they
Yeah.
won, and she was like, oh yeah, actually their dance was, like, very similar
It's
to the actual
so
thing.
similar.
And I was like, okay, perfect. I will say, I
Ghostbusters?
didn't like either Ghostbusters dance
I
of
didn't
Alona and
either.
Alan or Dwight and Daniela, but obviously I'm biased. I wanted
Yeah, we were hoping.
Alona and Alan to win. And then I will also say I wasn't a big fan of Jen and Sasha or Riley and Stevens. I knew
Because that was Jump in the Line.
It was Jump the Line from Beetlejuice.
And what was it? Was it a samba?
No, it was
It wasn't a jive.
salsa.
Yes.
Because neither couple had ever done a salsa before, which I
That's
also think is
right.
so unfair. Like, what do you mean you're going to give both of the couples, you're going to pair them up together,
Yeah.
and they're the only two couples that have never done a salsa before, and you're going to give them a salsa
Yeah.
for a night
Which-
where they have to learn 2 dances.
Which group got the jive? Because I think it was a Time Warp. Or was Time Warp something else?
Yes. Time Warp was a jive.
Time Warp was a jive. What was Ghostbusters?
Ghostbusters was... Was that a salsa?
Hang on, I find out.
Yes, it was, because remember Daniela mentioned the fact that the last time they had done a salsa was Soul Train Night.
Yes.
And Dwight forgot the steps. That's right. Which he did good with his improv, I'm gonna be honest. Like, his improv for Soul Train Night when he forgot the steps, especially because they were under
That was
rehearsed.
crazy.
I felt so bad for Daniela. You could tell that girl was stressing. Okay, we do have to wrap this up soon because we're already at over an hour filming and we have to keep watching the show.
Yeah.
Okay,
Holly.
back to Solo Night.
Riley, Riley and
Oh my god,
Steven.
I'm sorry. Hot take. Best dance of the night. They deserve straight tons. Sorry.
Steven's face every time. You need to put that TikTok in there.
Every single time you were in the skybox, Steven was in the background of the frame. You can't really see because of my blue light, but yeah. Every
He was
time.
just
By the way,
staring.
I can't see anything right now. I feel like Steven right now. Everything is
So-
blurry.
I asked her, I'm like, does Steven Adarazic have a lazy eye? And she was like, yeah.
Yes.
I
literally
know that.
You can tell by like looking at him when he
Well,
takes
I
his glasses
figured,
off.
but
yeah.
then I was like, does
And
he?
also, like, his TikTok profile picture is, like, a picture of him when he was, like, a little kid, and,
And
he
you can
has a
clearly
lazy eye.
see
Yeah.
it.
I think it's gotten better as he's gotten older,
Yeah.
but, yeah. I'm sorry, their dance was so... And doing it to Iran,
Oh my gosh.
one of, like, my favorite
And it was
80s songs.
contemporary.
It was contemporary, and again, I
Which-
told y'all already, that dance was going to make or break them. That was either going
Yes.
to save them or be what sent them home, and I am so proud of them. I'm sorry, they deserved at least 2 tens. They did
Yeah.
not deserve 1 10. They deserved 2 tens for that dance. That dance was so,
Yeah.
so incredible. It was so good.
Yeah. Sasha and Jen did
I'm
Vampire.
Sorry, I wasn't a fan of it. I'm sorry.
I kind of liked it only because I like that style of dance.
I just
But-
don't think the contemporary fit the song.
Yes, because it was Vampire by Olivia Rodrigo.
If they had done a remix of it, maybe, but they kept the exact like original song pretty much, and I
Yeah.
feel like the contemporary and like the way Sasha choreographed it didn't fit the song.
Yeah.
I don't think they should have gone home this week.
No.
They should not have gone home. 1000% they shouldn't have been eliminated. I'm really mad they got eliminated because
Yeah.
I like love them as a
Dwight
group.
you wanted Dwight to go home because
I didn't want anyone to go home, but I feel like if anyone had to go home, it should have been Dwight.
Yeah.
But I also feel bad for Daniela because Daniela is so
good.
talented. I will say their dance was good for like Halloween and contemporary, but
Yeah.
every single week, like he's not improving. He is a stick. He's barely dancing.
He's very stiff.
He's very stiff, and I
He's
understand
so
the height
stiff.
difference is so hard, but sometimes like you can only make something work so much
Yeah.
until it's just like
Not
done,
working.
null and
Yeah.
void, you know. So
You also didn't like
I did not
Danny
like
and
Danny
Whitney.
and Whitney's. I didn't
You also
actually.
you know okay. You didn't like the background of Jenna and
Okay, so one thing y'all should know about me, I have a very, very bad fear of clowns.
And what does Dancing with the Stars do?
They made the background of Joey and Jenna's looked like a circus, and they had like all clown
Multitudes
stuff.
of clowns.
And it wasn't like that bad. Like it was more like Jack in the Box, like jester stuff. But at some
There
point
was
they had a
one
virtual
giant
background
clown.
of a giant like creepy clown face, and I literally was like yelling. I was like, "Please get it off my screen! I can't look at it. It was scaring me."
And then so Jenna was dressed
as a ventriloquist doll, which is funny because she has a fear of
the only
one ventriloquist doll.
and it's the ventriloquist scene from the Polar Express. I love everything else about that movie, even though it's super freaking creepy. But it's that one scene where they're in the ventriloquist boxcar, and it gives me claustrophobia and anxiety from being around all of those.
That's
because
a weirdly scary scene for a Christmas movie.
It's because my grandmother at her old house in Connecticut, in the bedroom that I used to sleep in when I went to visit her, the entire top of the ceiling had a shelf where she displayed all of these porcelain dolls. And I was also in the room with the 2 guns in the closet.
Oh, love.
I was like, okay, so one day I'm just going to die in this room. Love it.
Somehow.
Either by the doll, the TV, or the guns in the closet.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm sorry, Joey and Jenna's dance was so good.
What did they do? Oh, the ventriloquist doll.
Bang,
Oh, yeah.
bang,
That's right. I was
bang.
like, oh yeah, they're the ones doing Ramalama.
It was so good. I love that dance so much. We already talked about, we didn't touch a lot on, like, Danny and Whitney. I'm sorry. The dance was just, And she tried to, like, explain it with, like, oh, well, like, Whitney's supposed to be leading. But even then, like, he should still be giving something. Like, even, like, when a man is leading, you still see a woman giving something. Like, he is also a stick. I'm sorry.
He is a stick.
He's a stick.
He's improving on being a stick.
He's improving, and I'm going to say it now. If you put side by side his contemporary versus his Halloween dance, you are going to be like, it's such like a downhill slope. And I don't know if it's just like the style difference, or like if it's because one had like a significant meaning to him and one didn't.
Yeah.
But like,
because the whole thing was that he was afraid of snakes.
But that's my thing, is you cannot be decreasing
that
badly in 2 weeks when we are this close to the end.
Yeah.
We are a month out from the end.
Yeah.
Ish, I would say approximately, because they're not doing an episode next week for election week. So 2 weeks, 2 weeks from now, they'll be doing a new episode. And remember, it's a special episode for the 500th episode of Dancing with the Stars, which that's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Because they're going to give them a song and a style. You have 5 minutes to make up a choreography and go. That's going to make or break so many people.
And that's why the voting from the people is so important. And that's why Ilona, and I hate to say it because I love them so much and their dances are really great.
They're probably screwed.
They might be screwed because they need people vote.
Yeah, they're relying very heavily on audience votes.
And that's the same thing with, like, Riley and Steven.
Yeah.
Daniela and Dwight have biased votes from the judges.
All the guys do. I genuinely think all the guys except Steven are perfectly safe.
Yeah.
Because of judges' votes.
Yeah. I hate to say it, I think the next episode either
Ilona and Alan or Riley and Steven.
No, I was going to say Dwight.
Well, I think those are going to be the bottom 3.
Yeah.
I genuinely think those are going to be bottom 3.
Yeah.
Which pisses me off because those are 2 of my 3 favorite couples.
Unless
like somehow someone like royally screws up.
Unless.
I don't think it's gonna be Whitney herself. It would be Danny.
It would be Danny who screws up.
Yeah, but I also hate it's like also who's more popular. Like obviously, like if you have like a super famous celebrity versus like a kind of more niche celebrity.
Yeah.
Obviously, the more popular celebrity is gonna get known. So of course, all of these huge football fans are voting Danny Amendola. Super Bowl winner, Patriots player who played with Tom Brady. Obviously, people are going to go vote him.
And same with Dwight, because Dwight is a 6'11" basketball
all-star, famous basketball player versus
and then you
a
have
couple of noobs from the Olympics no one's really ever heard of before this summer.
Right. And then you also have the guy from The Bachelor.
Store. That's a very niche audience.
Right. But you have a lot of people from The Bachelor who were there and were, like, supporting him. But that's probably because he's also with Jenna Johnson.
I'm also saying public voting.
Yeah.
Public voting wise, based off of how famous the celebrity is, also sometimes will affect how much votes they're getting from the public. So, I don't know. That's why I'm worried about it. But, okay, let's
Chandler and
We already talked about
Yeah.
them. They deserve so much better from Carrie Ann.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I have such a vendetta against Carrie Ann so much. I hate her so much.
we were yelling about Carrie Ann earlier.
We were so, like, not only just last night watching the episode, but also today,
Yeah.
like, at the gym, like, we're just like, shut up, Carrie Ann.
Yeah.
Shut up. Please, shut your mouth.
In past seasons, she wasn't as like
Annoying as she is this
annoying
season.
and judgy. In the past couple seasons, with a bunch of the people who have dance experience, like Charlie D'Amelio, JoJo Siwa, Chandler, like there's a bunch of people who have dance experience, and that's what I don't find fair, is
Yeah.
that this show is supposed to be fun and entertaining.
It's supposed to be people that have no experience gaining experience through the show, so that's why, like, as much as I love Chandler and as talented as I think she is, I think it's so unfair to have someone that
Yeah.
has had any sort of, like, real dance training
Yeah.
in this show, because the rest of these people have zero training at all, so you already have an advantage.
Exactly.
Like, it's not normal to be getting 7s and 8s in the first episode, and they were doing that.
Yeah.
And that's, like, not
And they were
okay.
so, obviously they were shocked because it was the first episode.
right.
But then it's like, the more they progressed, and you could see like who the judges liked and who they didn't, because they gave Eric, for his first dance, they gave him like a 4 or a 5.
Derek gave him a 4, Bruno gave him a 5, and
I
Carrie
think
Ann gave him a 6 because they copied and pasted it for Reggie as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which actually just sucks.
Which, I'm sorry, Derek and Bruno were real. Like, also, that's another thing that I told her about. I was
Yeah.
like, Carrie Ann honestly just hands out high scores
To the ones that
everyone.
she likes.
Not even just to the people she likes. She just hands out higher scores to people in the first couple episodes. And that's what screwed them over, is, like, no one was getting, like, 9s and 10s for a while because they gave out such high scores from the start.
Yeah.
And then it's like,
Well, we want you to improve.
well, we
but
want you to
can't give you
improve,
high
but
scores.
we can't give you higher scores because then you're getting 9s and 10s by, like, week 3.
Yeah.
Which is unrealistic as hell.
Yeah. And that's why the first 10 of the season was on Halloween night.
Yeah, I mean, I get Dwight and Danielle getting the 10, I guess.
Because of their
Because
it
of
was
the
storytelling,
storytelling, but not for the actual
not for dance wise.
dancing. And also it sucks that, like, oh, you get the first 10 of the season, but it's only because of, like, the order in which the dances were also performed.
Right.
And then also
If-
it gets to a point where, like, the later you go also, the more compared you are to everyone else.
Yeah.
Which is also what sucks.
My thing is, if they put Alona and Alan like second or third, maybe they would have had a shot.
No. They were screwed no matter what. They went first, so they hadn't seen any other dance. They had no one to compare them to.
Yeah.
I think if they had gone later, they would have gotten worse scores.
And you could see it on Alona's face as the episode progressed, when everybody was getting these 10s.
She
and
like
everybody.
thought she was going home. To be fair, I literally said, I was
Oh
like,
my
she
God.
knows she's going home, because I thought she was going home.
I
was shocked she didn't even make bottom 3. I was shocked. Audience
They
vote saved
tease
so
her.
much.
They tease her like that too. Is they put her
They torture
in the
her.
last 4, and it's like, dude.
They torture her so much.
on
and I hate
on
it.
Heavy Metal Night, you can see it like on Alan and on her. Like she starts
They
crying.
were crying last
Alan
night too.
drops to his knees and just hugs her around the waist, and it's like,
Yeah.
dude.
They did her so
Ugh.
dirty
It
with
was
that.
rough.
But yeah. And then the duos we already kind of touched on. I really was only a fan of Joey and Jenna. I really didn't like any of the other, like, dual dances.
Yeah. And the thing is, I feel like Ghostbusters is very overdone for Halloween night because they do it almost every single year.
Because it's one of, like, the only, like, actual songs for Halloween. The rest of these songs are songs that, like, they're doing, like, remixes of to make them Halloween.
Right.
I wish they had done something from, like, Little Shop of Horrors or something.
Yeah.
Little Shop. Which Riley actually did that on Dancing with the Stars Juniors.
Yes.
Was she did a jive to Little Shop of Horrors with Miles Brown from Blackish.
Nice.
That was her partner.
Nice.
Also, I have to show you their freestyle for the Christmas, like the finale was like recreate one of your dances from earlier in the season with your like adult celeb pro like coach, and then do a freestyle that's Christmas themed. And they did just hear those sleigh bells jingling, but it was a remix. So it was like
That's
a hip hop
crazy.
remix. They ate that down. So remind me to show you that later, because
Yeah.
Riley was like 14 or 15 maybe at that time, and now she's 19.
Yeah.
So seeing how she's grown from like those years,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
In past seasons when they did Ghostbusters, they had it to where it was like a group dance. So they had like groups of 4.
Yeah,
And
which
they
I would
did a
have
group
preferred.
of 4 for Ghostbusters.
But
and
they were
was-
pitted against each other.
No.
Well, this year.
This year they were. in the past season that I'm talking about.
Gotcha.
It was the same season where they did This Is Halloween as a giant group. And then they all split into groups of 4.
Yeah.
They did Ghostbusters, and Derek Huff and Bindi Irwin were on that team, and they used hoverboards to make it look like floating ghosts.
Oh, that's cool.
And Derek was on Bindi's shoulders, floating around on the hoverboard. I have to show it to you. It's really cool.
That is really cool.
Like, I was thoroughly enthralled by that performance.
Yeah. Okay, so
That's basically it.
we're running out of time. So, now what we're going to do is we're going to give our final predictions of what we wish is going to happen versus what realistically is going to happen.
Realistically, Alona might be going home in the next couple episodes.
I think she's going home this episode unless someone royally screws up. In my ideal world, she at least makes it to semifinals.
Yeah.
Even if she doesn't make it to finale, I would love if she at least made it to semifinals. But I feel like she's not improving fast enough, and Alan doesn't seem to be pushing her as hard as all of the other pros are pushing their celebs.
Yeah.
So unless they really, 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 like, push, like, I hope they use this extra week with election week to, like, work their butts off. Sorry, my computer keeps blacking out. Yeah, so that's ideal world, is she at least makes it to semifinals, at least Stephen and Riley make it to semifinals. I feel like Dwight needs to go out within the next few weeks.
Yeah. Because to be fair, the reason that he's doing so well is because of the judges' scores, and that's basically it. Because I don't know how many people are voting for them to stay.
I also think that the judges are being significantly more lenient with them.
Yes.
I feel like they're
because
not
of their height difference.
being as hard on them because of the height difference, and that's unfair to everyone else.
Yeah. Because everyone else is basically almost the same height.
Yeah, that's why they do it, is they normally try to keep it that they are the same height.
Yeah.
But they just always give
and then
Daniela
they're like,
the short end of the
here's
stick.
this D1 basketball player that's like
The
500
tallest
feet high.
The tallest person Daniela's had to be a partner with was either 6'5" or 6'7".
Yeah. I think it was 6'5".
I think it was 6'5". And now you're giving her someone who's 6'11" when she's 5'3". That's not fair to her. You're just giving her a disadvantage. That's not fair to Daniela. Give her someone
and the thing
tall.
is, Daniela can work with it, but it's so much harder.
But it's just so hard on her. Like, why do you need to do that? That's so unnecessary. Ugh. But anyways, okay. Now if we're going to be realistic, here's my prediction for... Normally it's 4 couples that make it to the finale. Last year was special, but I think they're going to stick to 4 this year.
Yeah.
My prediction is it's going to be... I think top 2 is going to be Joey and Jenna and Chandler and Brandon. I think that's realistically the top 2.
Yeah.
Because they've been doing so good, but Danny is still too much of a stick and they rely too much on lifts and tricks. I think unless somehow he just randomly learns how to dance, he's not going to make it top 2.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be Joey and Jenna, and I think it's going to be Chandler and Brandon top 2.
Who do you think's coming in third?
Oh, sorry, my neck just cracked.
Honestly, I think with Whitney's, like, training and expertise, I think they might make it third.
I think so.
And then
fourth.
In an ideal world, it would be Alona.
Actually,
but it might be Stephen and Riley.
I feel like it's gonna be down to Stephen and Riley and Dwight and Daniela.
Yeah.
I love Alona. I wish she could win the Mirror Ball.
Yeah.
I wish.
In a perfect world, she wins the Mirror Ball.
But it just seems so unrealistic. Obviously, I'm still gonna hold out in my heart for it, but I realistically think she's going out next.
My hope is that she doesn't go out for a stupid reason.
Yeah.
Because, like, obviously...
Fix your scoring, Carrie-Ann.
Right?
I mean, you too, Derek and Bruno, but especially Carrie-Ann.
But Derek and Bruno are realistic because they give critiques. Julianne is just like...
But they also... Carrie-Ann. Not Julianne.
God damn it!
She did this last night, too. But here's my thing is also,
I hate that Derek. I said Derek and Julianne.
Yeah.
Derek
you
and
didn't
Bruno.
say Carrie-Ann.
Juno! Oh my god, I'm saying Juno! That's what I'm saying!
No, you weren't saying that!
I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I'm delirious.
Deep breath.
I'm delirious.
Deep breath, water.
I'm delirious.
But here's my thing is they also gave Alona straight 8s. Like, all of them gave her straight 8s for Halloween night.
A while.
She is improving, and you're not giving her the scores to show that.
She deserves 9.
She deserves at least a 9 for that dance. Even if she doesn't deserve 10, she deserves at least 9.
Yeah.
She was the only person that didn't get a 9 or higher. Everyone
Which
else got
sucked.
9s and 10s. She was the only person that got lower than a 9.
Yeah, and she didn't win her bonus round.
And she lost her bonus round. And everyone's like pissed, like she should have gone home instead of Janice. Shut up.
Y'all
Shut up.
voted.
Y'all voted. If you wanted your favorite to stay, you should have voted more.
Yeah.
Not my problem.
And you could have, too.
Because mind you, you can vote for the same couple 20 total times because you can do it through text and abc.com.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think realistically it's going to be either Riley and Steven or Dwight and Daniela, plus it's going to be, because I think the week after election week is the last week before semifinals, and then it's going to go to semifinals, one more couple's going home, and then it's finale week.
Yeah.
So yeah, I genuinely think Chandler's going to win it. I think Chandler's going to win it.
In a perfect world, Alona wins.
In a perfect world, Alona and Steven tie, and they both get their own mini mirror balls.
No, they just split the mirror ball straight down the middle, and they each take half of it. But it's a gold mirror ball, so it's like a gold medal at the Olympics.
Considering they both got bronze. But yeah, I think realistically it's going to be Chandler, but I
Yeah.
think Joey's going to be close second.
Joey, they both really have a high shot.
They really do.
Because of who they're working with and their expertise level.
Yeah, and even that's like surprising because Joey doesn't have like expertise
Right.
at all, but he's just really like he's
really
a natural.
good at dancing.
He's just a natural.
He's just good at dancing.
Who do you have as like making it to
Honestly?
finale, top 2 winning?
Okay, so I agree with your top 2
Okay.
with Chandler and
Joey.
And Joey. I agree with that.
Okay.
I do believe that Whitney and Danny can make it to third if Danny stops being a stick.
Yeah. I think based off Halloween night, though, like, if they state the skill level strictly of Halloween, it would be Riley and Steven in third place.
Yes.
Just based off Halloween night,
Oh, yeah.
I think it would have been, like, Steven and Riley in third, maybe Danny and Whitney in fourth,
Yeah.
but,
Alright. Fourth, I think if they somehow manage to pull through, I think Steven could at least make it to fourth.
yeah.
If he pulls ahead of Dwight.
If Riley makes it at least to semifinals, I will
Yeah.
be so happy for her, because she got eliminated right before semifinals last season
Yeah.
with Harry.
And then, I hate to say it, but Dwight and Daniela, and then Alona and Alan. Because
And I hate that because
I
I
hate
love
that because I
Alona
love
and
that.
Alan so
I reposted her on
much.
my story today
I know.
because she's a gorgeous woman.
She's so fine.
She's so
Guys,
hot.
she's so hot.
Like, ugh.
Alona, just know if you have no fans, it means we're dead.
Right?
If you have no simps, it means we're dead.
Exactly.
We are in love with you.
I will
Consider being our friend.
I will fly out to LA, dude.
Can we afford it? No.
No.
Well, you probably can. I cannot.
No.
Well,
Not after this weekend.
not after this weekend.
Not
Pre
after
this weekend, yes.
Pre this video, yes.
As of currently right now, yes. As of Friday, no.
No.
Okay, so we're gonna come back. Obviously, we won't be together for
Yeah.
the finale.
Okay.
Disagree with us, but don't like be like, you're right.
Yeah.
It's an opinion. But yeah, let us know what you think. What are your predictions for the finale, semifinals, like everything going forward?
Yeah.
Who are your favorites?
We clearly know who our favorites are.
And Alona and Alan, if you're watching this, if Riley and Steven are watching this, we are your biggest fans.
Yes.
Riley, we literally share a name. Sorry, I know I go by Chameleon, I know I go by Cam, but my name is Riley. I love you. Anyways,
I personally love every single one of the pros, even like retired pros like Mark. I love all of you. I literally went to go see you guys live when I was like 10, maybe 9.
dude, if they were coming to Florida, I would love to go to
I
the
would
tour this
cry.
year. I would love to go to the tour this year if I got to see
I would cry.
Alan
Oh my god.
in front of my face.
We would be
If I
front
got to see
row.
Riley
Front row Alan.
and Val.
And Jenna Johnson. We'd be dead, guys. We would faint. Oh my
And I
God.
know normally the winner of the season also performs at the tour. Like Xochitl performed in the tour this past
Yes.
like year.
I was so proud of her and Val.
Oh my god.
I was so proud of them.
anyways, that's it for the video.
Yes.
We'll see you guys in a couple of weeks, at least for the Dancing with the Stars
Yes.
wise.
Just so we have enough to cover.
Yeah, just because that way It's like a, hey, this is our prediction for the rest of the season.
Yes.
Versus, hey, here's what actually went down. Our
Mhm.
opinions, if we agreed and disagreed with everything the judges said. Pretty much it'll be this again, but once the season's completely over, so you're not
Yeah.
getting predictions. It's just like
Straight
summarizing
facts and
and
everything.
significantly more opinions.
Yeah.
Probably hating Carrie Ann 10 times more.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys soon. Obviously, you guys won't see this for probably a couple weeks or whatever,
Yeah.
but tomorrow is Halloween. We're doing a Five Nights at Freddy's stream. We're vlogging the whole weekend that she's here. She's not leaving till Sunday, so you're getting literally 5 days of content
Yeah.
pretty much out of us.
5 days of us.
Vlogging combined into one video, plus the Five Nights at Freddy's stream, plus we're making a bunch of TikToks. Like,
We already made one. You should go check
we
it out.
already made one. And then we also kind of just helped our friend film a video of a series he's working on. Shout
Yep.
out Michael.
Michael Eats.
Michael Eats.
It's a special spooky episode.
It is, because we bought him sugar.
We did. It's very funny.
But yeah, so we have a lot of content coming out of this weekend. I don't know if we're going to put Disney in a separate video than like the regular vlog. We'll figure it out. But yeah, so thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow my Twitch. So that way you can see live stuff happening.
Yep.
Turn on your post notifications on YouTube so you can see when not only this video comes out, I mean obviously you're already watching it, but you can watch when the FNAF video comes out, when
Yep.
the vlog comes out.
I make guest appearances all the time on her Twitch as well. You'll see my little bubble pop up as SquishyMochi06.
True. Normally if I'm playing golf, it's only with her.
Yep.
No one else likes playing golf with me except for her.
Yep.
If I'm playing Roblox, probably with her.
Yeah. Occasionally Claudia.
Occasionally. It's mostly her
It's
though.
mostly me.
If I'm playing Valorant, mostly
Mostly
that's Claudia.
Claudia.
'Cause she doesn't
Claudia, Robbie, normal.
Not as much Robbie. Mostly Sky, Claudia.
Yeah.
That's it. But yeah, anyways, so thank you so much for watching. And we'll see you guys in the next video.
You're
Toodles!